Alright, in today's video, we're going to add an IR controlled receiver into the Media tab and also learn how to program mappable volume ramping. Okay, so this video assumes that you've already added an IR receiver into the Input-Output tab and have assigned a default sender or IR output to it. So going back over to the Media tab, first thing you're going to do is add an audio zone controller. Right-click Audio Zone Controllers, select Add New Audio Zone Controller. Go to Name Your Device. In this case, I'm just going to call it IR Receiver. And in a device type, you want to select Generic Single Zone Controller. That's important that you always select Generic Single Zone Controller for any IR-controlled receiver. Do not select one of the other device types, even though it has a similar name. It will not work. Those are only for two-way control devices. So generic single zone controller, click OK. As soon as you do that, see some options pop up here. We're also going to assume that this IR control receiver, it has discrete commands for on-off and source control. So to tell the system that that's the kind of receiver it is, go ahead and come up here to on-off control type, and you want to select discrete verify always send. And the same for source control type. Now for volume control type, we're going to go ahead and select mappable ramp. What that allows us to do is press and hold the volume up or down button and ramp the volume. That way you don't have to do it one at a time. Okay, so now we have some commands here for begin volume up, and so forth. I'm going to click on the begin volume up. That pulls up a commands window. This is where we can now add our IR command that we have from the IR device in the Input-Output tab. So we click Add Command. You're going to find that IR device. It is always under IR Sender. So you're going to go ahead and come here to Command Groups and find your IR control receiver. And in this case, we're looking for volume up. Okay. Now, because this is a mappable ramp, and it's the press and hold, we're actually going to want to begin repeating that IR command. So you want to select begin repeating and select OK. So now our command for begin volume up is to begin repeating the volume up command for the receiver. Now end volume up is when you let go of that button. So when you're pressing and holding that button, it's going to send out that command and keep repeating it until we let go of that button. So we need a way of telling it to stop. So end volume up, you're going to add a command. We're going to select IR sender again. And this time we're going to, instead of selecting volume up, you're going to select the first item in receivers. Notice it has no colon after it. When you do that, you're going to get an available command here that says stop repeating on default sender. Go ahead and select that and click OK. So now we have our volume up command for mappable ramp. That's going to allow us to press and hold volume up, and when we let go of it, it's going to stop. So that'll do our mappable ramp. You're going to do the same thing for begin volume down. And now we'll add our power on command. It's going to be add command, IR sender again. Find your receiver power on command. There it is. And this time you're going to send IR via default device. That's just saying that we want to send that command once, and it's going to shoot out the device that we created in the Input-Output tab on whatever IR output you selected. Select OK. And do the exact same thing for power off and mute toggle. So now what we need to be able to do is add sources to this IR receiver. So you notice there's no commands down here for source selection. So we need those to come up. Now the only way those are going to come up is as soon as we add a source to our IR receiver. Now you can add as many sources as you like. The way that you do that is you right click on source 1. Oh, forgot to tell you guys to apply it. So that's important. The good thing is we have a warning that if you did not click the apply button, you can go ahead and hit yes to save the changes. All right, so right click on source and select add new audio source. We're just going to go ahead and leave that as new source and select OK. Now you see we got two sources. And you can keep adding as many as you want, as many as you need, just by right clicking add new audio source. In this example, we'll just use two sources. So I'm going to select source 1, come up here to source device. We need to be able to select a source. Now keep in mind, you won't have any sources here to select if you didn't already add them here under keypads and interfaces. The only two that will be in there is your HC12 audio output 1 or 2 if you're working on an HC6 or HC12. If you're working on a Homebrick G system, you won't have this. So just keep that in mind. So in this case, I already added a keypad interface for cable TV. So I'm going to go ahead and select that as source 1, click apply. And then source 2, let's go ahead and add the DVD player. So there it is, DVD changer, click apply. Now if we come back up here and click on IR receiver, we got 2 controller commands for cable TV and DVD changer. Now you can add your command, IR sender, scroll down, find our source. In this case, we're just going to select satellite for that cable TV. It's also going to be via default device, and do the exact same thing for DVD changer. IR sender, scroll down, and find your source DVD. There it is. Click OK. So last thing you got to do for your audio zone controller, any audio zone controllers, is make that zone viewable on the viewer. So in this case, I'm going to use a Windows viewer. So we're going to expand Windows from the Interface tab and go to Tab Config Media System. When you do that, you want to make sure that this zone over here is under Visible tabs. Typically, it'll already be under here under Available tabs, and all you got to do is select it and hit Add Tab, and now it's visible. And then click Apply. By doing that, now we'll have a visible tab on our viewer. So let's bring the viewer in play. Go ahead and click G, Media, and we're already in Zone 1 watching cable TV. Now if I hit Source, you'll see there's my DVD changer. And after doing all the programming that we just did, when you select that, it's going to turn your receiver on, and it's going to switch the source to DVD changer, and you're ready to go. So one thing to keep in mind is when you hit volume up or down, when you press and hold it, you're going to get an image that looks like that, and that tells you that you're pressing and holding the volume up command. Alright, well that's the end of our video for adding an IR receiver into the configurator. Thank you.